Hi there. I hear you got a new monitor for your sedation, the new Mindray, and you're trying to hook it up to the Heartland computer so that way you can get it to work within our own computer system. And I know it's going to be a little challenging because Heartland computers are a little hard to sometimes get things to integrate with well. So I'm going to work with you today on how we're going to plug it into the Heartland monitor in your office so that way you can use the sedation monitor work with the computer system in your operatory. Okay, in order for us to actually have the monitor speak to XChart through our Heartland computer, we're going to need to install a driver. And drivers are a little bit harder to install with our computers, but the IT team has helped us here. They've allowed us to have a pathway to get it in. So we're going to have to go on the left side down here on the very bottom left. You're going to hit this little window that's going to expand. And then what you're going to do is type Software Center in the box here. And when you open that up, the Software Center, this is what it should show. And if you look up here on the second, looks like driver that I'm seeing, it says XChart drivers. We're going to click on that XChart drivers and we're going to click to install. This can take about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, now that it's showing that it's installed, we can go ahead and open up a web browser. And what I'm going to do is navigate to xchart.com. And I'm going to sign in. You probably will have your own sign in already done because you might have tested and played around with the XChart. I do recommend that. Okay, now that I've got the username and password put in, let's go ahead and log in. It's going to send me a verification to my cell phone, which is a protective way to make sure that it's HIPAA compliant. Usually if you're using the same computer over and over again, it'll save it, but if you're using it the first time, it'll ask. Then once you do, you're going to click on your organization. You may have your own office as the org name. You'll click into that. Okay, let's take a look inside the box and see what's included. So I'm trying to do this one-handed, sorry about that. So we got a packing list here with the items that come with it. Some styrofoam. Here's our new monitor. This one happens to be the EPM10A. That's the one that we typically use, and we like to use that one. Inside this box, okay, this is going to have all your blood pressure cuffs, the power adapter cord, oxygen saturation, it's like ECG, and your pulse oximetry. So all that's going to be included in that box here with some reference guide. Here is your backup battery and more blood pressure cuffs. And the last thing in the box is this XChart. Let's open that one up. This one has to be the cabling. Yep. So this is the cabling that'll connect your monitor to a computer. The computer has to be a PC. It doesn't talk to Apple products until it gets into XChart, and then you can work in the cloud. Right, then you can go to any website you want from anything, from an Apple, iPhone, iPad. But to get it from the patient monitor into a computer, it has to go into a computer first to be put into the cloud. So that has to occur through a PC, and so it has to talk through one of these little devices. And so you have the cabling here, and I'll show you how to hook all that up together. If for some reason the cables has a C adapter on the end that will attach to the end of your computer, and if for some reason, it's hard to get off by my fingers, for some reason that C isn't compatible with the PC you have, then you can use this adapter that comes in the box to attach your C and make it a larger USB connection. Most computers, even the older models, will have the larger USB connectors. We're kind of moving to the smaller ones for newer computers, but so that's why most of us will have this, and we'll have the C. And then, like I said, I'll show you how to combine these together. I'm just going to take off the little end caps and I'll be right back. Okay, so here you can see I've got everything laid out that was in the XChart box. We have the little communication device. We have the 3 cables here, and let me show you how they attach. So if you look to the back side of the communication device, you'll see 2 receptacles. One of them will be so that you can place this telephone connector plug into the back of it. And the other one you'll see this round, almost like a power cable that you're going to be plugging into here. It will actually provide power to the unit from your monitor. So this USB port will plug in the back of your monitor to apply power to this unit, and this will be a communication cord. When it comes to leaving the device and going to your Heartland computer system, it'll be pushed from this device to the computer through this cord and cabling. So if you look on the other end, it'll have this connector, kind of like a connector you'll see with stereos and other type of equipment. You'll be plugging that together here in the back end. So now we've got this all together. This portion will actually go to our computer. These portions will go to the back end of the monitor. And let me show you how that goes to the back end of the monitor right now. So here's the back end of our monitor. If you see here, there's 2 USB ports in the rear, and there's one of those telephone connectors. So we're going to pick one of the 2, it doesn't matter, and then we're going to plug the telephone connector there. So I'm going to put this down just for a moment. In goes the telephone connector. And then I'm going to grab the USB and plug that in to the bottom one. So this is something that can be attached with Velcro or something if you like to make it easy, and so that it's all kept together on your monitor. You can do that, and that's a good way to kind of keep it close by, or you can just set it down behind your monitor in a passive way, so that way you can use it and move it around the operatory. This portion will be the one that goes to your computer. And the other one that you're going to need to know about is the power cord needs to attach into the site here. Okay, so now I can rotate this around. I've got this on a little cart. You can buy these on Amazon or somewhere, but this will be a test for me to see how this powers on. So the monitor is on, and now I'm going to connect this little C on the other end of the long cable that's going from the XChart connecting box. I'm going to connect this piece to our Heartland computer system. And so I'm going to roll my camera over here so you can kind of see, and I'm going to go down. There we go. So here there's going to be a C on the front of our computer, and I'm going to plug it in there. That'll be a place that I'm going to show you in a moment how we can test the driver to make sure that it is working and functioning well. Just so you know, this is very important. When you first get the Mindray and you turn it on, unlike this one, it may not have any data on it because it's never been used. During this video production, I did test it out to make sure everything was working well, but it didn't show you that these units are asleep when they first come out of the box. And until you have data that's being pulled off of them through usually like an SpO2 finger probe or a blood pressure cuff, they'll stay asleep and they will not record or look for recording data. And so when you go to search for them through XChart, it won't see the monitor. And here you can see I've got the little adapter for the SpO2, and I'm going to plug it in over here. And then I'm going to put it on my finger, so that way it'll start getting some data, and once it does, it'll somewhat wake up. And then when you go to search for it on a driver through the computer system, it'll actually recognize it. Okay, so here we are back on our XChart on the computer that we already had pulled up. If you look to the right of your name, you'll see a little wheel on the top right here. If you'll click on that wheel, and you're going to go to Test Monitor Connection. Once you do that, it's going to make sure that you understand that this is just a test. Everything will be fake. It's not going to record anything. But we want to see if we can connect our monitor. So you'll see here there's two Mindray options. And for the ones that we have through Heartland purchased for you, you'll want to click the Mindray HL7. Once you do that, it'll come up with another opportunity for you to click a blue button. This blue button, whenever you see blue on the XChart program, is typically the thing that you need to click next. So I'm going to go and click the blue, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here because it's going to show two options. And I don't know which one to pick. So back on the front of my computer where I plugged in that C, I'm going to take my hand down and actually unplug it with my hand. And watch what happens. One of them goes away. The one that goes away is the one that actually is the one we're going to need to select. It also shows us that we have paired. That means that our driver is working well. So if you go, I don't know if the driver is actually connected well. If you can see this port, then we know that the driver is working well. So I'm going to click this and go to connect. It may take a few minutes. Now, because we had tested before, it probably recognized it earlier. You may take a minute or two to recognize that connection when you first do it on your computer. And so once you do, you'll click the blue button that says use this connection. You're going to select the items that you're typically going to want to use when you do the monitorization of your patient. So blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, ECG, and end-tidal CO2 are the typical things I do, and respiratory rate. So if you click those, you'll kind of have most of what boards will require within your state. So I click complete, and now my monitor setup is complete. But I did want you to know that that's how we set up this up. This is exactly the process that I use every time. It's very easy. Once you do the process and know that you do have to wake up the monitor, you do have to plug it into a C port within the computer. One gotcha is that some of our monitors, I'm talking about these monitors here, on the back of them, you'll see USB ports on the monitor themselves. Do not connect your XChart or your Mindray to that because it will not recognize it. The driver does not work through our monitors. It only works through the actual tower, computer tower itself. So you do always connect through the computer tower. Other than that, I just want to say I'm available, and if you need me at any time to further utilize the XChart within your office, or if you're having problems within hooking up your XChart, I want you to please reach out to me at mmorehead, MMOREHEAD at heartland.com, and I'll be happy to reach back to you and we can resolve your issues. Hope this helped. Good luck, and please reach out to me if you have any questions. Well, it's really that easy. It's as easy as that. To put your Mindray system into work in your office, you can, if we can get it to integrate with your computer, it works really nicely, and it's a really good way to monitor a patient and keep the documentation done at a very high level within your office. I think you'll find it very enjoyable once you get it incorporated into your system. There's a little bit of a learning curve at the beginning, but I know that it'll be very easy for you to get through it. And then if you do have questions, I do want to make myself available, mmorehead@heartland.com. I'll put a link below so that way you can always reach back to me. But I am a good partner in this with you in this process. I want to make sure it's as easy on you as possible. So please reach out to me if you have any questions. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.